This
I'm a
conference will
ServiceNow
now be
developer cum
recorded.
architect. Okay, I have 7+ years of experience in ServiceNow development, and I'm integration specialist as well. Okay, so let me begin the ServiceNow integrations. Let me know uh, do you know what is integration and why we use integrations? Anyone? Like any basic idea? Any one of you? No one? Okay. Uh, so integration is nothing but information transfer from one source to another. In any tool or any technology, let's take SAP, Salesforce, anything. Integration is nothing but a transfer of information from one source to another. Coming to ServiceNow, integrations we have in multiple ways. Whatever you are loading the data or you are exporting the data from ServiceNow, and through web services or also through Excel, through email, through reports, anything, we call it as an integration. Okay, so we have in coming to ServiceNow, we have like a three different types of integrations. One is email, and the second is data sources, and the third is web services. Most of the people will be thinking that like only web services is an integration, like a SOAP, REST. Maybe many people are assuming that only this is we called it as an integration. But emails emails are sending out from ServiceNow and emails are receiving to ServiceNow. Those we called it as an integration. And data sources, we are loading the data through Excel file. So from external we are we are loading the data to ServiceNow, so it's an incoming integration. And coming to web service, we are transferring the data and we are getting the data to ServiceNow. We call that also as an integration. So mostly we will be learning all these three parts. Let me open a Paint. Okay. Uh, I hope like most of the people knows data, what is the data source and what is email notifications and inbound email actions. And let me start with the web services. What is web services? Web services is information exchange through APIs, the endpoints. Coming to basic scenarios, like if we want to go any particular location, we require firstly we require address. If there is any lock, we require keys. In the same way, in ServiceNow, if we want to integrate with Salesforce or SAP or any other WhatsApp, any SMS platforms, any tool, with any tool or any server, if we want to integrate, we need the location address. That we call is an endpoint or API. API is nothing but application programming interface. We want the endpoint or API. Post that, we need to authenticate with that server or else with the tool. So we want the authentication, the user ID and password. And the other part is like what type of data we are getting or what type of data we are transferring. The third point, these are the three most main points we are using in web services. Coming to like integrations, again in integrations there are again two types, like one is inbound and the other is outbound. In web services also we have two types, like a REST and SOAP. Coming to REST, again we have another two types called inbound and outbound. We will see in diagrams here. REST, SOAP. Okay, coming to REST, again as a two types, inbound and outbound. Coming to SOAP, in the same way, outbound. Okay, coming to inbound, like we have multiple ways. Like if you want to get incident, let's see an example for from instance to instance, from one ServiceNow instance to another ServiceNow instance. If we are integrating, we need to get the data from instance A to instance B. Like instance B is integrating with instance A, and instance B wants the instance A incident data. So we are so firstly we require instance A endpoint, that is the instance API, and we need to authenticate with instance A. Instance B should be authenticate with instance A. So we require the user ID and password. Instance A's user ID and password, and we have the location and we have the authentication. And the third point we require is the content. What type of content we are getting? We are getting the content like the raw data we are getting, whether you are getting in a JSON or a text or else a application URL, and or else an XML format. In what type of content we are getting, we should verify that first. So in these three ways we can authenticate with any other tool. These are the points, key features and points we should remember whenever we are authenticating or else we are integrating with any other tools. Okay, why we have two under web services? Again, we are differentiating like a REST and SOAP both. Why? Because REST is more advanced and SOAP is older. And coming to REST, like REST is very faster, and REST can be supported in all the other formats. Like it can be supported in JSON, XML, URL encoded, and all many multiple different types of formats it will be supported. But SOAP will be supporting only XML format. But and REST is less secure than SOAP. SOAP is highly secured because it's an encrypted file we are forwarding. But in the REST, whatever the data, if we are passing, we will be passing in the URL. It's a URL encoded, but in the URL we will be passing. But SOAP will be passing all the parameters in a file. And so size is very like we are passing a huge file. Due to that, the speed is low and the size is high. And in REST we are passing everything in the URL, so the size is very less and the speed is very high. Okay, nowadays everyone is preferring REST because the speed and the authentication type also they modified. Due to that, we are preferring REST than SOAP, because in SOAP it's only supported in XML format. But nowadays all the remaining tools, they are changing the formats to JSON and text and URL encoded, because XML is more secure, but the size of the XML, the size of the data will be very high. Due to that, they are preferring other formats. Nowadays, like all the other integrations are migrating to REST. So up to here, any doubts for you? Hello. Okay. So any doubts, anything related to here? Nothing. Okay, I can take it as a no. So Coming to our instance, I already told you that we have three types of integrations. One is data sources, and the other is notifications, and the other is web services. We will see the web services here initially. Okay. We have the system web services as a module application, separate application here in ServiceNow, and this will be enabled without activating any plugin in ServiceNow. And if you want to integrate, I already told you here we have inbound and outbound as a two types, and REST and scripted web services and SOAPs, everything we have separately. So coming to inbound first. Inbound, like we will be providing our endpoint to them, and like instance A will be providing endpoint to instance B, and instance B will be hitting whenever an incident creates in instance B, instance B will be hitting incident information. Whatever the created incident in incident B, it is hitting to instance A, and we are allowing the incident information to store in ServiceNow. So for that, here also you should consider a thing. One thing here, whenever we comes to integration, we will be integrating not to any other instances, not to ServiceNow instance. That's an older concept. Now you should consider in a bigger way. Like we will be integrating from ServiceNow to SAP, ServiceNow to Salesforce, ServiceNow to any Twilio, like ServiceNow to MoveSoft, SolarWinds, like different tools we have. We will be integrating with those tools. So here the integration will be like I said, inbound or outbound. If it is a inbound, then they will be hitting to our tool. Okay, they'll be creating data in our tool. So if we are integrating with any other tool, they will be like there will be set of guidelines. We are not going to provide the user ID and password with admin role to the external users. They are external users, because Salesforce people doesn't understand what ServiceNow is, and SAP or any other tool people will not understand what ServiceNow is. If we are giving if we are giving access to our ServiceNow instance, if they come and they can delete anything, they can, if they can modify or they can see the confidential information, then that will be a huge escalation. For this, the overcome what ServiceNow provided is the API formats. So like APIs are different types of APIs we have, like a catalog. For catalogs separate API, for table separate API, for import set separate API, multiple APIs we have. With those APIs, we are differentiating and we are integrating. If any other tool is integrating with ServiceNow, we are allowing them to only limited access. We are providing the to create the incidents or anything. If I want to create an incident for any external user, any end user can able to create the incident, but incident table, I don't have the access to incident table, but I have access to create, and I can able to see only my incidents in ServiceNow if I am the end user. Like the same for external users, he's also an external end user, he should be able to integrate with ServiceNow. But here the issue is end users can't able to integrate with any of the table, because if they don't have any role, they can't able to see the tables and they can't able to process anything. They can't able to insert or read or delete anything. If we want to provide that access to them, we should provide a ITIL role. Like I said, like if we are providing ITIL role to them, that would be a very worst job, because if we are providing ITIL role, it's a chargeable, and it's not best practice to give to the external users. If we give the ITIL role to the external users, they can be able to see all the other incidents, other users incidents, and the confidential information. For that, we are overcoming through import set table API. Like we will be creating a table, and we will be giving access to that import set table API, and the users who are part in other tools like a SAP or Salesforce, they'll be inserting a record in our import set table APIs. From there, we will be transferring the data to our target tables. That is called the inbound process. I think it's complicatedly I said, but whenever we go in practice, practical sessions, then we can able to understand easily, I think. So if you have any doubts, if I'm going a bit fast or slow, please suggest me, like I'll change. So here we have the inbound, and coming to outbound, I already,
Excuse me, can you hear
sorry,
me?
yeah, I can
Am
hear
I
you.
audible? Yeah, just one question here is like, for example, if we create a user and we give it a web service admin role, for example, to access to ServiceNow, so does that mean that he has access to everything in ServiceNow?
No, no, he
Mhm.
doesn't have access to everything. But if you are giving a SOAP role, like a web service admin, you said the web
Sorry.
service admin we
Yeah.
have as a SOAP and SOAP client. So if you are providing the SOAP roles to them, they can be able to create anything in import set table. Like I said, we are creating import set tables. They can be able to create or delete anything in the import set level, not to any other
Okay.
tables.
Okay. Okay.
Due to security purpose, we are restricting them to only import set tables, not to not to our custom tables or out of box tables. Because if we are providing them access to all the out of box and custom tables, then the security breach will be there, and the role. If we are providing a role, it's a chargeable. So that's also waste of cost. So most of the integrations will be stepping in this way. Okay, coming here, the outbound, we have SOAP and REST, two types. And like I have already said this, SOAP we have only supported in XML format, and REST can be supported in all the different formats, and REST is speed and SOAP is less speed, but SOAP is high secure than REST. Okay, and coming here, REST, again we have scripted web services. Under REST we have scripted web services, and this is just analytics, the API usage, and we can see the overview, and we can see the traffic, everything here, whatever the integrations we are using. The like oh, how is the traffic, how many incidents are coming, how much of data we are getting on daily basis in ServiceNow. In such a way we can say. So out of these, finally I can say this: we are going to learn complete this application system web services, and we are going to learn data sources plus and email integration, that is a notification part and the inbound email actions. And I'll show integration with Twilio. Like that's the best one we have to integrate with free platform called Twilio, where Twilio is a platform to send SMS from service, from Twilio to mobile providers. So the thing nowadays, recently all the customers are liking this, to integrate with the Twilio to send SMS to their customers. Whenever an incident creates, if a P1 incident ticket got created, then everyone is willing to get the SMS. Like they're liking to get SMS. mm, Everyone will not be on the in front of systems at every time, so they want SMS to be notified. Like emails are a bit slow, so they're thinking SMS is the best way. So Twilio, I'll show the integration with that, and we have other tools called Landesk and SolarWinds. We'll check with that as well. And the other thing we can learn on Integration Hub and Flow Designers. Integration Hub and Flow Designers are the two. Like Integration Hub is a like we said, it's a plugin, and it mostly integrates with it's a combined feature in Flow Designer. um, Integration Hub also uses REST and SOAP. If you learn the system web services, you can understand Integration Hub easily, because earlier, like before Madrid, we have like a huge scripting is required to integrate with any other tool. Nowadays, they are reducing the scripting and they are bringing Flow Designer. And through Flow Designer, if you want to integrate with any other tool, you should activate the Integration Hub plugin. It's just like a configuration. We can discuss on that as well in future class, in further classes. So Any doubts up to here?
One question here is like whether we are going to see scripted REST APIs here.
Yes, yes, scripted web services.
Okay, and scripted SOAP services as well.
Yes.
Okay. So like when do we create REST message and when do we go for scripted REST web services?
Yes, the scripted REST web services is mainly it is used for only inbound. If you
Okay.
go, if it is an any inbound integration, then you can consider like a two ways. One is we have as an inbound directly. You can create a WSDL here, or else you can go with the system web services. Sorry, scripted web services. Under scripted web services, we have REST and SOAP both. The integration requirement, if it is through XML, then you can go with a REST or SOAP. If it is other than XML, then you should only consider REST, because SOAP only supports XML format, but REST can support all the other formats and it's very flexible.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
If it is
no.
outbound, then we don't have any other option. We have only SOAP message and REST message, two types. If it is XML, you can go with the SOAP. If it is other than XML or XML, then you can go with REST.
So
But we
like
can see both. You'll
okay, so like we can in like when do we write a REST message and when do we write a scripted REST web services? Like when do we do that? Like what is the difference?
The main difference is if it is a inbound integration, in the sense like if I'm forwarding, like if I'm the SAP tool, if I'm integrating with ServiceNow, if I want to transfer data from SAP to ServiceNow, then it's a inbound. If it is an
Okay,
inbound integration, you can go with scripted web services. If it is an outbound integration, it's like
okay,
you service now need to send information to SAP or Salesforce, then you can go with the SOAP message or REST messages.
okay. Yeah, got that.
So the main two differences is inbound and outbound. Like in any integrations, not only in ServiceNow, in any technologies or any tools, anyway, there'll be integrations are like two types: inbound and outbound. Information exchange between one source to another. So it's a bidirectional or unidirectional, or one way to other, from source A to source B or source B to source A. In the same way, we can integrate with this.
Okay, so I have just missed some the starting part of the demo is like what do we will cover, like what would be the starting point, like how we are going to do, like we are going to do with data sources first, then the email part, like what were the three types which you showed, because I just
Yes.
missed that, I joined a little bit late.
Yeah. The first thing what I consider is, firstly I'll explain the data sources concept, and next we can go with the directly web services, and email part will go at last because that's a very easy part, you can understand easily. Firstly, you need to understand data source and web services. In web services, we have lot of things to learn,
And in data sources
so
is
we'll go with the web services second.
like like what you told about data sources, like what part has been covered of integration in data sources?
Yes. Coming to data sources is completely inbound integration. There is nothing outbound here in data sources. Whatever, you can load the data through Excel, or else through any file, or else through any URL, APIs, anything. But I can just show the overview, but I can't, like we don't have any real-time servers here, any at like free of cost. We don't have anything, but we can see a demo there. Like I can show how to integrate, and I can show the other tools, like what I did in my projects. I can show that. Based on that, you can understand easily.
Like for example, any small example?
If I have an Excel file, inside the Excel, I have a CMDB data. See in you know CMDB module, right?
Yes, yes, a little bit.
Okay. Inside CMDB, I have a servers. So in an Excel file, I'm a separate, I'm a Landesk guy. A Landesk is a separate monitoring tool which will be storing all the assets and servers related information. It's a separate tool. So in any organization, Landesk will be there. Definitely, they'll be storing all these data, and they'll be capturing the servers, all the CMDB information, and they have a separate server, so they'll be storing the data in their servers. So I'm integrating with Landesk, but Landesk is not willing to provide the API or anything. So they are just providing the Excel file, whatever the data they have, they are giving to ServiceNow, and whatever the data, like they are providing 10,000 records per day. So we can't we can't see, and we can't load the data, like we can create
Okay,
one by one. So we should load all the 10,000 data at once.
okay, so
So
they
for
are going
that,
to
we'll
store.
be integrating with Excel.
Okay, so they would be storing it into any particular single location, and we would use that location, and then the file, and then the transform map and everything would happen, like something like that.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay, okay. So like whether here would we learn like how to write transform map scripts and everything? Like for example,
yes,
any.
everything.
Okay, okay,
I'll show that. So any other questions, queries?
so one more question, like you told regarding like in this like in the demo, like we would also cover the integration hub and the flow designers. So like we would be also learning like how to
Yes,
create custom actions, like how to create triggers and all those stuff, right? Like creating custom actions.
yes, yeah, true.
Okay, 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 yeah.
So we can stop for the day, and we can start from tomorrow, whatever we discussed, and we'll be continuing from there.
Okay.
Yes, okay. Anybody have any more queries? Yeah, you can ask him. Um, okay, we can wrap up for the session today.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thanks
Okay.
to all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.